Hello, happy Monday. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jade Trueblood, Director of Training at AWAI. And today we have a special guest for the first time on Monday Morning Jumpstart, Russ Henneberry. Hello, welcome.
Let's jumpstart. Let's do this.
There's a lot of jumping and a lot of starting in these. If anybody doesn't know, how would I describe you? Expert marketer, content creator, consultant, teacher, strategist, any thing I'm missing there?
Grower of best tomatoes in Missouri.
Wow, I need a sash for that one.
I've got some really good ones ripening up there. I'm so excited.
All right. Well, Russ does a lot of courses with AWAI, and I've heard him bring a lot of wisdom to the table over the last few years. So I would love, Russ, for you to share with us today, even maybe a little bit of a background story. So I just described you as this expert of all these things, which is all true. But originally you had to make the jump, right? From a 9-to-5 situation to a freelancer. So what did that look like for you, and how was that for you?
Yeah, well, so I got started. I started a business a long time ago and figured out how to build a website and got into the digital side of marketing and ended up working for a company doing digital marketing. So I was an employee, and twice actually I was laid off, and both times I was not something that I meant to do, but I had to go out on my own and figure it out as a freelancer. The second time that I did it, I landed much more softly on my feet than I did the first time. But yeah, when you end up out there as a freelancer, it can feel a little scary, especially if you were forced out. And when I talk to people that are thinking about maybe leaving their own job, I think about a couple things, and some of this is informed by my own experience being laid off a couple times in my 30s, where I tell people that you're not necessarily more safe working for another company. Like, I feel much more in control of my income and so forth working for myself than I do working, at least for major corporations and stuff like that, that tend to just do things like buy other companies and wipe out entire departments, completely out of your control. And so I feel a lot more control over what I'm doing as a freelancer than I did as an employee, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think as well, knowing you can also turn the dials on how hard you work, right? Like, I want to work harder and have more clients and make more money. I need a period of relaxation and dial it. So I think that's a part of the control. What were the differences, if you can identify any, when you said the second time you landed softer? Any advice that you can garner from that might help those that are looking to go freelance?
Well, I just had a friend that got laid off, and I told her, I said, the first time that happened to me, I was very hurt. Like, I felt like I was rejected, even though this layoff was done, both of them, with more of an axe than, say, like a scalpel. They axed entire department, and I was part of that, and it's kind of what it was. So the level of fear that I felt and rejection that I felt on the second one was far less. And the amount of courage that I had, because I had already experienced life as a freelancer, and was actually, if I'm honest, when I was working for that second company, was wondering why I had come out of freelancing to take a full-time job again, even though I was learning a lot. You can learn a lot in-house. I'm not saying you shouldn't do things in-house, because you'd be part of a team and you will learn things, and sometimes that's the best course of action. But if you're thinking about jumping out of a company, I always advise people to do a couple things. One is to think about, what service would you provide if you left your current role and this sort of income and salary that you have coming in. Because, and I say service because some people would say, well, maybe I'll jump out of this company and create a course, or create a podcast or a blog or something like that, which all of those are great things. But I would be more, yeah, I think they're important, but I think starting a service right away is a great way to to maximize the amount of money you're bringing in and get the experience that you're going to want to. Let's say if you're down the line going to create a course or a podcast or a blog or a newsletter or any of those things that actually have better scale, if you know what I mean. Like, you're not necessarily trading time for money like you are with a service, but that service gives you one-to-one contact with clients and allows you to charge a lot more because they're getting a lot more of your time. So I like to say, in most cases, look to jump to a service that you would provide. And best scenario is if you have a client when you walk out the door of your job. Even if it doesn't completely replace your salary, at least you've got a client and you're moving, right? So try to land that client before you even leave your job. And sometimes, crazy thing, think about this, your first client could be the person you're working for right now. I've seen it happen many times.
Yeah, so have we. I think it's just, which we'll get to in a later episode as well, just opening yourself up to telling people you do this thing, right? And then you never know what will come from that. I know in some of your classes, I'm going to butcher it. It's either like a 7 or a 9 word email that you implore people to send out while they still have their job. And obviously while they're trying to become this freelancer, because I do think that that is the great part about copywriting. Yes, there is sacrifice in learning and sacrificing in your time when you're doing this while you have a full-time job, but you're creating that safety net for you to jump. You're not just jumping without it. What do you think that somebody should do when they're making that thinking about making that transition, and even before they get that first client, looking for that first client?
Well, you can make a list of the people in your network that you would tell that you're doing this new service, and that might make you feel a lot better, or it might make you feel a little bit more scared because you might say, I don't know, there's not a ton of people on this list. And what I mean by a ton of people is like maybe you only have 2 or 3 people that you think would be a good person to reach out to that could support you and help you maybe find a client or 2. Make a list though, and you might be surprised at how many people that are probably going to be pretty excited about you making this change. That's a really good sign that you're going to be fine, because when you go and you tap into people that love you, right, that care for you, they may not even be business contacts at all. They might be friends or family, old work colleagues, things like that, that will be probably where your first client will come from, where they will say, I'm excited that you're doing what you're doing, and I think you should go talk to so-and-so or go talk to so-and-so. That's almost always where your first client comes from, is either your own network or someone your network knows refers you in to get that first client. So make that list of people that love you. That's a good place to start. If you feel like you need more people on that list to feel comfortable, start networking a little bit, start getting out there and meeting some new people, go to events like AWAI's boot camps, for example, or and meet people, and you'll start to feel the support of other people around you that can help you with this transition.
Can you share with us, crew, what that email is that you implore your class to send out?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of different very short emails. There's a lot of power in sending a communication that's a single sentence, that's only designed to start a conversation, not completely inform a conversation or end a conversation with a. So you send an email. You can send one that I call "Need Some Help," which is, let's say you are trained to write white papers by AWAI, for example. You can send an email that says, do you need some help writing white papers that get some result? And just put a question mark on the end of that and send that to as many people as you know might need help with that. And that "needs some help" email is only designed to get somebody to reply. And then you're going to move them to the phone where you can have a conversation and get more details. But "need some help" is a great email. And you can even use that in the subject line of the email. Do you need some help, or need some help, question mark. It's a powerful question to ask, because if somebody is experiencing that pain point, they're going to pick up and reply to that.
I think as well, an important point is like somebody might be sitting and saying, I don't know anybody that hires white paper writers. But if you can, just send it to, like you said, people that you love or people that you know, people that you feel comfortable sharing with. You don't know who they might know that does hire white paper writers. Say that 5 times. So I wouldn't cut it off or block it off with just somebody that you know needs that, but just send it to people, even if you don't know that they do. And it can even just spark, like you said, a conversation about, I don't, but are you white paper? Are you white paper writing now? So yeah, I think it's a great conversation starter, or client getter, whichever way it goes.
And another formula that I love to use is the announcement formula. Announcements are very powerful to your network, the people that love you, they're excited for you. And so you can literally open something up on Facebook or any other, even on text, or send it to an email thread that you use with your family or friends or whatever. You make an announcement. You say, I'm excited to announce that, right? And when you tell them that, and they love you, right? They care for you. They're going to be excited too. And they're going to want to see you succeed. So what you're going to do with this formula is you say, I'm excited to announce that I'm learning how to write white papers and blog posts and sales letters for businesses. I get this result, right? For this kind of business, if you're in a niche, like I get more leads and sales for businesses in the real estate industry. And then this is the most important part that a lot of people forget, is to put the call to action. The call to action is, do you know anyone I should talk to? Right. It's a very soft call to action to send to a network is, do you know anyone I should talk to? And what they're going to do is, wow, so-and-so is doing this. That's awesome. I want to support them. I want them to succeed. And so I'm going to stop a second and think, do I know anybody that they could use this? Who's my real estate agent? Maybe I could put them in touch. And then even if there's nothing that comes of that announcement right then, you know that you've planted that seed in their head, that this is what you're doing and this is what you want. And they're going to try to get you there. And so as they move around life, you will find that at some point, somebody's going to send you a referral, which is gold, right? You really want that referral to get you started.
So any last takeaway for somebody that's sitting here, they've taken a course, they're about to take a course, and they're looking at that like freelancer lifestyle over there that they're so desiring and wanting, that you think that they should be doing right now as a plan of action?
Yeah, I think acquiring skills and experience and things like that in the things that you're learning from AWAI, like learning how to write different projects, what their goals are, things like that. But from a mindset standpoint, start preparing yourself for the idea that, start thinking about the idea that it's actually quite safe out here on your own. I know it doesn't maybe feel that way when it's mysterious and kind of maybe you've never had a business before, but there's a lot of work out here. And that's why I love this business too, is that I talk to people that do the same thing I do all the time, and we know each other. We're not competitors. And the reason we're not competitors is because there's too much work out here already. So this is a really good time to be getting out into business. And, so from a mindset standpoint, I know it's difficult or maybe easy to say, difficult to actually do, but see if you can get a hold of that fear and do it anyway.
Okay. And I think next week we'll be diving into a little bit more of everything we spoke about today, fear, network, referrals. So we will see everybody then. Thank you, Russ.